Well, hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday night. I'm TU Nap, and the gentleman on my.
I'm Dr. Michael Gross. However, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's really great.
We are thrilled to be here. We do this every Thursday night. You get a 30-minute uh, message from Michael, and it's always phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Michael really quick. And then our topic tonight is self love. So when Michael comes on, we'll just go right into the topic. Okay, Michael? You talk about talk about Tissy, whatever. Okay.
Right.
Okay, we're going to add. I'm just going to say it without reading the script because this time I get a little bit more more personal, right? Dr. Michael Gross is a spiritual coach, a transformational coach, an incredible teacher, and he is the author of Spiritual Primer, which I am so blessed that I have in my possession because the book and the man right next to me truly, truly, truly changed my life in so many ways. I had no idea. So, on that note, Michael has been in the industry for a very, very long time. He's been very, very experienced in Reiki, spirituality. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Michael because he's been doing this over 35 years. Am I right, Michael?
Yes.
Okay. He has phenomenal stories to share with you in his life experiences. And the one thing that I think more than anything is that he is so humble and he's so honest. It blows me away that his genuine integrity. You know, he's got nothing but good energy around him. It's a joy to be working with you, Michael, and I'm thrilled and honored that you are part of my life. I just look forward to sharing you and your messages with the rest of the world because the world needs to hear from you because you channel information from the true source, and that's what this is all about. You know, waking up our souls and becoming more loving. It's so easy to get messed up in the chaos in the world today. And I could go on and on and on and give you 30 minutes of accolades, but I won't do that
Thank you.
because I want you to introduce yourself a little bit and then go right into the topic, okay? And
All right.
don't forget to talk about your nonprofit, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. As you know, I'm Dr. Michael Gross, author of Spiritual Primers, 12 Manifestation Protocols. This evening, I would like to share something with you. And all the information I share with you is all channeled. I never know what's going to come out, what's going to say. So if I hesitate or whatever, it just means I'm just channeling the information. And my mission and goal for all of you is to get 1% of the population to wake up their souls, to realize that they're an aspect and part of the true source, and reconnect with the true source so that you can do your own spiritual mission and goals. But I'd like, before I get started, to acknowledge Tio, who is busy posting and chat lots of information. So thank you for doing that. The subject this evening is about self love. Really an interesting subject. You know, we hear all kinds of love. And when I try to express love or whatever, it becomes very difficult because the poets, the masters, whatever, they always have trouble expressing love because love is an emotion. And I'd like to talk to you about the emotion of self love. Self love is so important. And if I were to ask all of you what makes your heart sing, you'd have to contemplate that thing for a while. And then more than likely, you'll come out traveling, education, perhaps taking a vacation, a boat, a house, or whatever. That's all superficial. It's all band aids. What it really is about is self love, is learning to love yourself. Therefore, many times you look in the mirror. Oh, my nose is too big. I got bags under my eyes. My hair is turning gray. I put on 10 or 20 pounds. I look pale. I don't have enough color. Uh, I'm aging. I have wrinkles. I have this and I have that. Well, as I say, five, four, three, two, one, cancel, 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 and replace it with a positive thought. I'm beautiful. I'm wonderful. But that's so important for you to say that because what you think you create, what you create, you experience. I know you've heard that before, but I keep repeating it to remind you because over a week's period, you're going to forget, which is normal. But if you look in the mirror for a moment, See the wonderful miracle that you are. And think about that. So here are the zygotes, the sperm, minuscule, the eggs, and all of a sudden a 7, 8, 9, 10 pound baby or less or more is created. Wow, what a miracle. And how it comes through the birth canal, the oxytocin, how the moans within the mother expand so the baby can go through the birth canal. That's so important for you to realize. But more importantly, it is well known that when a woman gets pregnant, that fetus brings a huge boost to the immune system, which will protect the mother and, of course, the fetus. Well, where do you think that energy comes from? It's protective for the fetus and mother, and it's called self love. Loving the body of the mother, loving the body of the fetus. And of course, when a child is birthed, look at the overwhelming love that you have for the child. But I want to set that aside for a moment. What I want you to realize is that you really don't know how to feel self love and love yourself. Most people don't. And so they will go, women will buy cosmetics and everything to look more youthful. Men will buy toys or whatever, do things to feel more youthful. And that's a band aid. What each one of us are required, needed, and should do is look at the beauty of life within us. Look at what you have created. Yeah, you created some challenges, but you also created something beautiful and wonderful. You created a life. You've experienced life. You experienced the challenges of life and the joys of life. But even within a challenge of life, you have created a way of loving yourself so that you can overcome the challenges and learn from these challenges. And in a very loving way, which you may not be aware of, you share this with family, friends, relatives, your wife, and that empowers them. So self love says, see the miracle of life you are, giving thanks for the miracle of life, and seeing the beauty within you. Don't look at this. This may be beautiful or have wrinkles or whatever it may have. But look deep within you. Look at the life you chose to have. Look what you've learned. Look at your growth. Look what you've created. Begin to see the love and beauty that you chose this path, whatever path it is, to bring about lots of love. And tied into that is self worth, because you don't love yourself, you have no self worth. Think about that. Therefore, if you have self worth, you must feel love. Without love, there is no life, and without life, there is no love. Something I channeled from the true source. Think about that. Your direction in life is to grow and embrace everything in a very loving way. What does that really mean? Well, I love myself to experience these things, and I'm going to experience them with grace and ease. Well, there's an interesting concept, grace and ease. Well, what does that mean? Well, I chose this. I chose this path. I honor myself and love myself for having chose that direction. That's so important for you to understand, because everything in your life you have experienced, major things, it was a karmic reaction, something you chose to learn, and you did it out of love. Now, in the soul body, as I call it, you're surrounded with 180 degrees, I should say, 106, 360 degrees, complete circle of love. That's what you're surrounded with. Therefore, when you choose your life, you do it very lovingly, and all the experiences you do with love because you know it's going to empower you. Now you go to the birth canal, now you're a little baby, and the veil of forgetfulness descends upon you around 3 years old, more or less, and everything's a new experience. Love that new experience because it empowers you. Therefore, if you turn around, let's say you're plunking in geometry, all right, just say that for a moment. Love yourself for having the challenge of overcoming geometry. You may use that as a mathematician or science, or you may use it as logic of some type to change your life. When you're sitting alone and you're wondering about life, you're looking at all the negative things, stop for a moment and love yourself for bringing these negative things into your life. And you're probably saying, Michael, are you crazy? Why do I want to bring all these negative things in my life? I go, no, I'm not crazy. It's because that's how you chose to learn that. Love yourself for learning that. And if you love yourself enough, you're going to learn whatever you need to learn quickly, rapidly, easily, and effortlessly. Quickly. How long do you want to take? 50 years? Go for it. 20 years? Go for it. 3 or 4 minutes? Go for it. Understand the message? That which you hang on to is self punishment because you don't love yourself. That which you feel fear from is punishment for you because you don't love yourself. That which you feel inferior or you feel no recognition, no love, no appreciation, none of that means you don't love yourself. Because truly, if you love yourself, you know what a beautiful soul you are. You don't need accolades. And those people that criticize you, they thank you. Maybe it's justified and you'll learn something so you can love yourself and change your life. Or maybe they're jealous, they're insecure, or they're frightened of you. Either way, you know you're perfect, ever growing more perfect. Remember, I mentioned that in the past, which means that everything you learn is more perfect and more empowering. And love yourself for having chosen this path. And when you do that, instead of meeting huge mountains and deep valleys, you'll meet gentle rolling hills. I know Tia wants to say something.
I do. Thank you. I have just a little quick question. Why is it so hard for us to love ourselves when we've been, immersed in a lot of that gunk? I'll just say the negative stuff.
Good question. First of all, we need to realize whatever challenges you in your life you're experiencing can be overcome. Keyword challenge, overcome. 2 words challenge, overcome. Therefore, when I'm facing a lot of challenges, I go, okay, well, I brought this into my life. What am I to learn from it? Okay, maybe this is karmic. I'm supposed to learn about self worth, self love, and self esteem. Number one is self love. I love myself for having chosen this. Yeah, you say, am I crazy for doing it? No, you weren't. It was your choice. Because everything you learn is an experience, and the experience changes your energy raises your vibrations are made of unconditional love. Look at the way that keeps going up and up and up and up. And once you accomplish something, overcome this feeling of low self love or no self love, you go, I did this. I feel really great. I created this in my life. I am unlimited. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar? Everyone to understand that if you really love yourself for every experience, you don't give power to the negativity of it. You give power to the healing of it. You give power so that you can begin to enjoy life. I would bet 95, 98% of those of you who are viewing this, you really haven't thought very much about self love. And if you thought about self love, you thought about buying toys and materiality because I deserve this. I deserve this. I should have this. I work hard. Yeah, you do. But that's a placebo, meaning it's temporary. Because 2 weeks later, you're feeling empty again. And you need another fix, another fix, another fix. You're addicted to trying to find something in your life to learn to love yourself so you can feel good. The question is, what are you running away from? What are you hiding from? Self love commands that you look within yourself to find out internally what gives you love, not externally. And that's so important. Remember, if you think about looking at a child that's born, look at the self love you had to create this beautiful child and the love you had for your spouse and vice versa they had for you. That's important for you to understand because that love, that energy created that soul, just like you were created. And your children and spouses and parents and great parents and so on and so forth and relatives. That's what self love says. Appreciate who you are and look at all you've accomplished and see things that are very positive for you, not things that are negative for you. That's what we need to understand. Our path is always filled with challenges, and I'd rather have gentle rolling hills and valleys rather than Mount Kilimanjaros and Grand Canyons. But look at your life, series of highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, up and down like a yo-yo. Well, love yourself for experiencing that, because once you love yourself, something magical happens. And one magical thing that happens is you understand why you're going through it, but you're understanding how I can avoid these highs and lows and make them minimal, absolutely minimal. That's what you need to understand. So if you enjoy the ups and downs and stress, bless your heart. I love you for doing that. You want to make them minimal, I love you, bless your heart. See, we all have choices. And the most important choice is to look at how you were created, why you were created, and look about love, because you're here to understand what love is. That's part of it. And of course, self worth, self esteem, and also to accomplish your mission and goal. Once you love yourself, when you're around everybody, you're at peace, you're calm. And really, when someone puts you down, you know within you whether you are wrong or right. And if you're wrong, just say, I love myself for learning this, and now I can heal, rather than a fight or flight or frozen syndrome. And we've all been victim of it. Of course, there are no victims, and we allow ourselves to become a victim. Therefore, if you love yourself, you have compassion for everyone around you, and you see the struggles they're going through, and you sit back and you watch. And what happens is, many times in your life, because the energy of self love commands that you have mirrors in your life. What is a mirror? It's somebody who is struggling with the same things that you're struggling. And sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, but we see somebody else struggling, someone else going through it, which I call the mirror effect. It's like, oh, there's me. Yep, I learned something new. The next question is, do I love myself to continue on this path of self destruction? Or do I start a new path of finding joy and happiness, making my heart sing, and find love? This is what it's all about. There are no victims unless you want to become a victim. You're not being punished by the true source. Not at all. You know, I hear so many people say, God is punishing me, God is this, this, this. I had a client in my nursing home. She said, Dr. Gross, why does God punish me? I have breast cancer. And I said, God's not punishing you. There's a reason why you're experiencing this. But I'll tell you what, after you have the operation, I'll be there. When you come out of the recovery, I'll be there. And when you come back to the nursing home, which I kept my promise. And little by little, she got better and better and more positive. What I did was out of love, not brownie points. I did out of compassion and love, because I love myself. If that was happening to me, I would love someone to do it for me. Therefore, if I am an expression of love, then therefore I have to spread this love and demonstrate it, which is what I did for her, and hope that she would pay it forward. I don't know whether she did or didn't, but she was very much kinder to the nurses and to the CNA staff. There's one of the examples. In our day today, there's so much chaos, and you're fighting to survive, and you're worrying about inflation, and people are judgmental, and there's so many different attitudes going on, and energies, and definitions of life, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to dwell into it, but seriously, if you take time to examine your life and say, what is loving? How do I love myself? Spend every day saying, how can I learn to have self love? Well, what do you do next? Simple. Meditate and ask the true source, I would like to feel self love. How can I experience and demonstrate self love? Do that every day. And little by little, magic begins to happen. And that magic says, thank you. Soul says, about time you woke up. About time you understand that the true source is nothing but unconditional love and non judgmental allowing and unconditionally loving. Wow. the true sources, which Jesus and Buddha and many avatars taught, why aren't you spending that energy to learn about self-love? Don't look in the mirror and see the flaws. See the miracle that you are. Look around you and see what everybody's going through, their trials, their tribulations, the doubts, their opinions, and just become the observer. When you gather with many souls, family, friends, and relatives, greet them with a loving thought. Boy, you look great today. How beautiful you are. I am so happy to see you. Give them a hug. And that brings up another subject. There are some men and women, don't hug me, don't want to be touched, don't hug me. And I've often puzzled, well, why? Well, they probably went through something traumatic. Well, they probably did. But what's the other part? The other part is they don't feel they should be loved, don't feel that they need love, and afraid to accept love. And why are they afraid to accept love? Well, perhaps something happened, but it really has to do with a lack of self-love. Anybody wants to hug me? I am ready, and I will hug them, right? And I hug from the left side, heart to heart. That's what I tell them, heart to heart. That expresses love. And what we need to do on this planet even more is express love and compassion. Because compassion with love, love is compassion. Yes, it's not exactly the same, but it's a derivative or part of love. Smiling is a part of love. Complimenting someone is a part of love. Helping someone is a part of love. Saying something nice to someone is a part of love. Perhaps sharing a meal with them, or taking a walk, or just listening. That is what's so powerful. Sometimes when you listen, you'll see yourself and understanding how they are not loving themselves, and you get a message. You need to love yourself. I know we're getting close to the time and concluding, but I like everybody, every day, meditate and ask, how do I feel? How do I obtain self-love? And once you do that, let me just say one more thing. Love is healing. That is the vibration and energy that will heal you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Remember the soul? You're surrounded by love. Remember when you were in a fetal stage, you brought healing energy to the mother? Love. That was the healing energy. Learn to love yourself. So I want to thank all of you, and I would ask all of you that spread the word about this. And how do you do it? Mention Dr. Michael B. Gross on YouTube, and also mention to them that every Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific Daylight Time, I do what I call Soul Awakening. And the Soul Awakening means that you ask questions about the soul, about your life, and then I deliver a 10 to 15 minute message, a motivational message. That's the way we learn. I don't care how spiritual you are, but you can always learn something new, or you can be reminded of something. And we need a constant reminder. In order to access that, to you, give them the number.
Absolutely. It's 202-926-1059, and the
The
access
access code 125446 pound. One more time, please.
sure 202-926-1059,
And
and
the
the code.
access code is 125446 pound. Using the same code, same telephone number, the second Saturday of every month, I do what I call is a mass consciousness healing. That's so powerful, the mass consciousness healing, because this planet, its inhabitants, need to feel love and healing. And what we do is channel the true sources of unconditional love through our bodies, because we're a conduit to help the planet, all its inhabitants. Watch what happens when you do that. Miracles, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, happens in your life. And to access that information and to join us, and it starts at 9:55 a.m. through 11:01 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The first 3 or 4 minutes, a little less, a little more, I talk. Then we do it in silence. And 2 or 3 minutes before it ends, I share a little information with all of you. And that telephone number is
202 926 1059. And the
and the
code,
access code is 125-446-pound. All right. Also, I wanted to share with you what I call the replay. Replay is all these messages have 285 10-minute messages, and you can access them. And we'll give you the number when you're stuck in traffic, being depressed, you're down, you're angry, you're upset. Just give a call, freeconferencecall.com. Go on, and I'll ask you what number. Well, it starts from number 3 to 285. Well, I don't know what number. What should I choose? Just any number, because your soul will help you choose that. And I cannot help but help share with you that when you do that, I get phone calls. Michael, it's exactly what I needed to hear. Just trust that. And to access that information, the telephone number is
it's 434 300 4170. And the code
125-446-pound. One more time.
434 300 4170.
The access code is 125-446-pound. I would like all of you to take me up on this offer. Listen to those messages. So it's very, very important. And I want to talk a little about 1 minute about the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. It's called TISE, TIISE, and it's all about helping abused women, children, and men. One True Source said form a nonprofit, which I did. I don't know why, but I'm not the one to question. I'm smart enough. There's a reason. It'll unfold. Little hint for all of you. And what happens is that I meet Tiu, and Tiu wrote a book called Healing the Holes in Your Soul. She went through a great deal of abuse, and I asked her if she would be the director of that project, which she has agreed. We've got our website 99.9% set up. Hopefully next week when we talk, you'll be able to see more about what we do. Therefore, just know that with the nonprofit, we're in service to all of you to help you. All right, so now we're coming down to conclusion. I want to get something and share with you. And as I'm looking for what I want to share, here it is. All right. And what I'm sharing with you, sorry everybody, I don't have everything fall. Well, that's what happened. And so Tiu wrote a beautiful book. And in the book is called Healing the Holes in Your Soul. Sorry for all that. But stuff happens. And so Healing the Holes in Your Soul is about a story about a woman who went through trials and tribulations like the mythological phoenix was reborn. This is a beautiful, inspiring story. And the reason we talk about these books is because they're empowering. We're not in the business to selling books. And as I said, we're not in business to do what we do. We do it as a service. And a service is more important. Money is set aside. Service what's important. And that's why we talk about these books. Go ahead, Tiu.
Okay, but I would highly recommend that you start with The Spiritual Primer by Dr. Michael B. Gross. The YouTube thing. Anyway, guys, it's a phenomenal book. It was the reason why I called Michael to start with, because I wanted to read the book and meet the man who wrote it. And that was over 3 years ago. He's totally changed my life, my perspective, and even my golden nuggets have changed. And start here, because if it wasn't for here and him, the book that he's holding wouldn't even be in existence. And he has done so much for me. The self-love that he's talking about today is so incredibly important, because when you love yourself, there's more of you, and the more love you have within you to share with the rest of the people in your life. So invite your friends to this book and our Thursday night visits, right?
All right. So thank you, everyone. We want to wish you a happy week. We want you to know that we love you. And remember, you are unlimited. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Spread the word. Have everyone realize that you are unlimited. Good night, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning, wherever you are.